William James's will to live is a confusing motivation for some. Why do we continue to exist in this world when the real world is hopeless, unhappiness is an everyday occurrence, and our emotions drive us to the depths of hatred, disgust, and self-contempt? What inspires us not to shut down and give in to the tired feeling that whispers to us every day? What are the reasons that you can cling to life, even if that life isn't exactly what you had envisioned for yourself? Are there, in fact, inspiring reasons at all? Well, we like to assume that staying alive means there has to be something worth staying alive for. A reason to keep dragging yourself into tomorrow. That's the story we've been told anyway. But it falls apart the second you look a little closer at the conclusion William has come to. The force that keeps someone going doesn't have to come from happiness. It doesn't even have to come from hope. Almost any emotion can keep a person moving if it's strong enough. Even hatred, even disgust turned inward. Self-contempt doesn't always finish the job. Sometimes it becomes the last thing still feeding the fire. There are people who get out of bed every morning for no inspiring reason at all. Tomorrow isn't calling them, life isn't rewarding them. They stand up because what the hell can they do instead? Picture an old boiler buried beneath a building that should have fallen apart years ago. Nobody remembers the last time it was repaired. The pipes are rusted to hell. Every sound it makes you think the next bang would be its last. And yet the whole building still depends on it. It keeps going because there's still something burning inside it. Maybe that's closer to the truth than all the speeches about purpose. Maybe people aren't held together by hope nearly as often as we'd like to believe. Sometimes it's just a fire that refuses to die. A grudge, a wound, a hatred that never found a way out. The goal isn't to put the fire out anymore. The goal is to point it somewhere before it burns everything down. There was a time when I was sitting on the floor of a college dorm bathroom, holding a phone I wasn't going to call anyone on. The floor was freezing, and there was this strange voice in the back of my head that kept repeating the same thing. You don't get to stop, not you. Not after everything. You specifically don't get to stop. It wasn't hope or optimism talking. Hell, it wasn't even courage. We love stories where suffering turns people into wiser and stronger versions of themselves. That's the version everyone wants to hear. But reality doesn't always bother with a happy ending. Sometimes pain doesn't make a person better. Sometimes it doesn't teach a lesson. Sometimes it just helps you keep going. The philosopher Kierkegaard said despair is the pain of never becoming the person you're supposed to be. That's true. But there's an even darker version of it. It's when someone quietly decides they deserve every miserable thing that happens to them. From that moment on, life becomes a strange kind of prison, where the same person writes the sentence, carries it out, and serves it. Nobody else has to keep hurting them anymore. They take over the job themselves. The violence of this takes place entirely within the jurisdiction of one person. Because no crime is visible, because the man shows up, does the work, maintains the surface, and the surface is maintained precisely by the energy generated below it, by the burning. Do you wake up every morning and think to yourself, why in the world do I do all this? I can't remember the last time I did something that brought me joy. And what's even worse is that the things I do pursue are the things that I pretend to enjoy, only to feel a sense of injustice when I don't get what I feel like I deserve. It's like I'm doing it out of spite. Something deep down inside of me doesn't want to give up, because I can't bring myself to relinquish the fight. I just can't, but why? Why do I wake up every day with the intention of getting revenge on the world for the injustice this lifetime has bestowed upon me? I feel pathetic for being that guy who can't get over it, and is out to get him back. But it's true, I am spiteful. I live my life every day to prove to the world with actions that I'm somehow special. It's like I'm saying, fuck you world, nobody cares about me? I'm going to make sure you feel my pleasure and pain for the rest of eternity. Sorry for the rant. I'd love to hear more about your guys' steadfast motivation that keeps you going when in reality, you'd rather be doing something else. Please feel free to elaborate in the comments. I think it's an interesting topic.